Hi,
Good
Russell.
morning. Good morning. Welcome back to Author Talk with Russell Little, Sandy, and Aimee. We're here today to talk about both plans for Christmas and, more importantly, the results of the Brian Bearden campaign last week in reintroducing his book and how exciting that was. Everybody say hello.
Hi.
Hi. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is getting to be, I love doing these author talks, Russell, with you. And I like it that we're doing
naturally.
And I like it that we're doing them regularly on Monday morning at 10 o'clock. So, yay. So you can start checking every Monday to see what to see what's going on and to see what we're doing with Author Talk. It's been fun. We had Brian on last week because last Monday was Cyber Monday, and we did announce then we were doing his book promotion. Today we're going to talk about the results of that promotion. But it's time for Aimee to say hi now.
Oh, hi, everybody.
Now, Aimee, what is your position in the campaign to promote Brian's book?
Well, my position is the whole social media aspect of it and what graphics we need, how many we need, where we need to post them, how often we need to post them, delegating shares, posting in groups, running ads, everything like that is my position summed up in many different jobs is what I do. So
she's in charge of the social media, totally in charge of it.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, and why don't I put up Brian's book so everybody could see it? And that's, there it is. Before we talk about what Aimee did with the social media for the reintroduction of Brian's book, why don't you tell us a little bit about the book, Sandy? What was it?
Okay.
What's its history?
The history of this book is that Brian, who's been in web services, helping people turn their websites around, helping them get more people coming to their website and more conversions once they do. So he put together, at quite a few people's suggestions, so a year or two ago, he put together this list of tips to how to turn your website into a sales machine. How to make your website help with your sales. And he's got 52 different tips, so one a week for an entire year. And every one of them is doable by the people that are not the technical people. So
how old was this book?
It's 1 year old.
Okay, so it wasn't a new book, right?
It was not a new book this time. No, it was a new book last year when we launched it on Cyber Monday and Giving Tuesday.
See, this is a big thing to me because both for my book's been out there for a year, and there are so many authors listening to Author Talk that they've had books out for 1 year, 3 years, 5 years or more, and they don't know what to do with them anymore. And so this story of what we're talking about, your campaign, you're an Aimee's campaign because it was an integral part of it, gives authors that may have a book that's not new an idea of what they can do next.
Right.
It's kind of like giving them a kickstart or what do you call something that's already been going on for a while and you just need to give it another thrust. Just kind of kickstart. It's not starting it, but it's just kicking it into gear again or something. Whatever analogy you want to make of that. It was not a new book. It was a year old. So the tips were still appropriate, still relevant for today. And what we did, because Cyber Monday is a big Monday in the online world, and Brian's very much into working with nonprofits, and he always helps them with their website. So Giving Tuesday was really the focus of this whole campaign. And we went back and so I'll let Aimee tell what she did as far as the social media. What I did was send out the press release, followed up on the press release, you know,
Well, you do a lot more than that. I know that from what you did for me.
right.
Aimee, though, let's start because people, especially authors, don't properly appreciate, and we know that, don't properly appreciate social media and its impact. What did you do before the relaunch on Cyber Monday of the book?
So me and Brian had a call about graphics because he wanted to create his own graphics that we could repurpose and use as posts to kind of engage his audience into wanting to go and download his book. So we had a call about that, and we came up with hashtags or keywords that he needed to use during his promotion. And then the day of the promotion, we ran an ad on top of doing several posts a day. But we also,
where did you run that ad?
On Facebook was his primary target for, or focus for me was Facebook and LinkedIn, but my primarily Facebook. So we ran an ad from Cyber Monday through Giving Tuesday. On top of that, we did several posts throughout the day on Cyber Monday strictly for that, and then strictly for Giving Tuesday. And we also posted in different author groups and Kindle groups and re-downloadable groups all over for him about his book to gain traction and things like that, posted reviews. But we stuck with the certain hashtags and keywords that would specifically target for him, and people will be searching to get his book. Is what we did primarily on top of shares.
And you helped him with his hashtags and everything too, right?
Right, that was part of our call, was the graphics and coming up with hashtags that would strictly for his market, for his book, that would get him the most traction. And then to kind of whipped cream on the cake or ice cream would be, you know, we had everyone in our team sharing, not just in the groups, but to our personal pages, to our business pages, things like that, using the same set of hashtags. What we did.
How did you decide what hashtags to use, Aimee? I mean, how do you make that decision?
Well,
let me answer that a little bit, because we actually used the same categories from Amazon as hashtags. So where his category in Amazon was web marketing, we would use web marketing as a hashtag.
Well, that was one hashtag. Another, that was one that didn't change, and along with author. Author, if you write a book, you're writing a book, author needs to be your go-to. So I've always said you have 4 hashtags, like a professional clean look, not so many phrases or anything like that. And you have 2 that are consistent, you don't change. That way they constantly have their own thread. And you have 2 that you change. So the web market and the author were the ones we want changing. That was where his book is, and he is an author. As far as Cyber Monday and Giving Tuesday, those are going to be big hashtags for the day. So anyone that was selling any product or anything like that was participating was going to be in that section. And the last one was one that he kind of could come up with and wanted to interchange, things like that. The last one's not as important. If you have 3 main focus ones that are big hitters, the last one is kind of just whatever you want it to be, just not a phrase. So that's kind of how we come up with it. There's always a strategy behind it, and a set day and things like that you want to include.
Wow. I guess you kind of answered the question I told you I wanted to ask you, didn't you? Because that answers all questions about hashtags. And
right.
That is, I've been starting to use hashtags, even on Facebook things, the way you've instructed. Right. But my question is, do you use different hashtags depending upon the subject or what you're posting, or do you use the same hashtags every time?
No, so you use 2 of the same ones every time, whether they pertain to an article or whatever it is. It doesn't have to pertain to that. 2 of them need to pertain to who you are, and it needs to be broad enough. Like you're an author and you write murder mysteries. Those are the 2 you need to use for anything. And then the other 2 can be kind of what's big for the day, and the other one can be what's pertaining to the article. But you want to be shown in 3 really big categories that people are going to be searching that day or the week or in general. That's the kind of the key point. That's why 2 of them need to be really consistent and kind of broad that you'll show up in.
Right.
2 of them you can interchange out, and that's kind of the whole game plan on it. So you're somewhat consistent, but you're also staying with what's relevant.
Okay, so I'll try to remember that.
I've seen your hashtags are good though. You're doing good.
You are doing good, Russell. And what would you suggest for his? So for his 2 basic ones for Russell,
Right.
What would you suggest that it is? So author, we know he's an author.
Right. Author, and then murder mysteries. But I do remember when his Marilyn photo went viral, and it was Murder for Me, which is the title of your book. That one was really big. So I think pertaining to that, if you're going to post a photo of Marilyn, you need to have that hashtag in there.
What, Marilyn or Murder for Me?
Of Marilyn, because she is Murder for Me.
Right.
Is how I see it. So I know
you see it correctly.
Thank you. I know when people were going, your photo was going viral, that's what people were hashtagging along with, your name and tagging you in it. So those are the three that I would only use Murder for Me if you're posting a picture about Marilyn, but author and murder mystery would be what I would
Okay.
use. Yeah.
Well, that's not what I've been using, so now I can correct it. And I hope that gives the authors that are listening, and pretty much everyone that uses social media for business, an idea of what maybe their hashtag should be.
Right. Yeah. If they're an author needs to be their go-to hashtag. If they're a small business, the name of their business and what specific target their business is. Like I use the name of my business, Abundantly Social, but I also hashtag social media because that's what I do.
Right.
Like fun ones, but things like that, they need to pertain to what people will search and bring you up. So if they search anything with social, Abundantly Social, social media, all that's going to pop up. So that's why keywords or hashtags are really important for any business.
So what do you, Sandy, let's move to what you did. We don't want to run out of time.
Okay.
So what was your campaign?
Okay, but first I want to say one thing about something you just said, and that was about for any business. And I want authors to realize you have a business. I mean, it may not be your sole source of income. It is a business. So once you have a book, whether you're
mine's a losing business.
It's been a while since we did any campaigns for Marilyn, so we haven't pushed there.
Maybe with the next book.
Yeah, there you go.
So, but authors, and Aimee and I, as we teach the courses next year, are going to have some that are specifically designed to help authors grow a business of selling books. So yes, your first one, you told me your goal of your first book is get the word out there.
Get the word out, not making money. Though my wife, Melinda, did have a few criticisms about that.
Yes, I'm sure. And I could share some of those that I've received from other people's husbands or spouses. So yeah. So Brian's campaign, back to that. So we just completed a full-blown campaign, and Brian is, like you, Russell, very engaged in what we do with him and for him. So several, like a couple of months before, we're going through Amazon, making sure all the categories are correct. He actually paid someone to do research what best categories for him in his book. So we had those. We went to the description of the book on Amazon and made sure that description was updated and current. So we did all this behind the scenes work. And then as it got time to do the actual campaign, Aimee started first with the social media. I had the press release ready to go out, and we sent it out on a national basis on Monday morning of Cyber Monday. So the SEO, the search engine optimization, would kick in. I always hire a few people.
Wait, say that again. What did you just say? The SEO, the search engine. How did you get that to kick in, and what does that mean?
Okay. So the biggest reason to do press releases today, I mean, I knew or didn't know, but you always hope, but you're pretty sure that when you send out a press release globally, that, USA Today or one of those is not going to call you and say, oh, a new book out. That's news. It's not news in today's world. So what we want to do is use that press release for search engine to get people in to look at your book on Amazon, your website, your social media. There's where the keywords come in that match the hashtags. So we use some of the same words that we were using for hashtags, that Aimee was using for hashtags.
For a whole week.
for a whole week, and especially those 2 days, Cyber Monday and Giving Tuesday, all day, every day. And my part of the work starts early because I'm doing my research on Amazon, seeing what's hot on Amazon, doing all this stuff. And then I stay up on the night before any campaign.
I know, I make fun of you while you do that.
I know you do. Amazon is located in California, so the free or whatever campaign you're doing kicks in at midnight, the night of the day you're,
which is 2:00 in the morning.
So it's 2:00 in the morning. So I always stay up so I can get a screen capture of it going to zero, if that's the campaign.
That's always very exciting, and I was very excited about mine too. So I didn't make fun of that.
Like, yay!
That's a very exciting beginning.
It's like a surprise every time that it works.
Yeah, right.
It's like,
and then see the numbers change gets very anyway. I'm sorry I interrupted. Go ahead.
That's okay. You can interrupt anytime. So Amazon changes the numbers on an hourly basis. So every hour on the hour, they redo the numbers. Sometimes there's no change. Sometimes there is a change. But I stay up till 2, do all that. I go to bed and get up about 4 or 5, see what's happened. And by then, with Brian's book, I saw activity already, which doesn't always happen that night. But it was already up in the top 100 of all.
Did you take a picture of that?
I took a picture of that. I've got a lot of pictures.
Are you going to share them with us?
I'm not going to share those. What I'm going to share is the results.
Okay.
I am so excited. And Brian, I've already shared it all with Brian when I gave him his full report and all that stuff. I am so excited about the results, and especially because I've got last year's results, because we launched it on the same day last year.
Right.
So I had 2 different things to look at. So I'm going to share my screen now and just show you some of those. Well, I think I am. Let's see. Oh, here it is. Yes. Okay. It looks a little different like this. Okay. So let me see which one I have. This is November 22nd. Okay. I did a screen capture and I couldn't make it come over here. This is the 2 places where the books, the number of books that were downloaded or sold during the 2 days, Cyber Monday. So you can see November 27th, November 28th. So on this day, there were over 150 downloads, and this day, 137, I think. So the 2 days together equaled over 250, almost 300. And then if you'll look down here, you'll see that. So anybody that's part of Kindle Unlimited, this is how this works with Amazon. If someone reads your book and just reads it as part of their Kindle Unlimited, they don't have to buy it, they just have to read it, you get paid per page. So I can't show you the number of pages, but if you can see here, this went over 50 pages, which that's how long his book is. So someone read his book during that time on November 28th, which I thought that was exciting. So somebody with Kindle Unlimited read the entire book, and they're still reading it. Here's one on November 30th. Here's one on December 2nd that someone looked at some of the pages. So he gets paid for all of those. Up here, you can see the blue tracks the free books, the free ebooks that were downloaded. So right now, that's what we want it to show. That's what we have it showing. So that's this year. That's what happened this year.
And that year he got over during the campaign, he got over 600 downloads.
Yep.
702 clicks.
702 clicks, not 600 downloads.
Oh, they were looking. And this was a business book. This wasn't a financial book. I mean, a fictional book, right? So the whole numbers are a little bit different, right? In expectations.
Right. So yes, you're not going to get the same kind of hype that you get from a fiction book, from Murder for Me. If you can get the right people's attention. So in case in point was yours last year when we did the launch for you on Cyber Monday and Giving Tuesday, you had, I mean, you have the record for anyone, the most downloads of anybody I've ever had an Amazon campaign for, because you had right at 10,000 books downloaded. One day was 7,500. So now that was a fiction book, and we really
right. This is a business book.
This is a business book. So people are not going to download the book just to read.
Okay. What's the comparison of this? Obviously, he didn't have any downloads the whole year, really, or clicks the whole year before your campaign.
Right, since last year's campaign.
And this is what gives me hope and has altered my future plans a little bit. Is so he had an older book, not a brand new book, that a campaign stimulated it just like it was brand new.
It did. It did. As a matter of fact, more than when it was brand new, because this is the report from 2016. So you can see November 2016, this is the number of, remember, blue is free books downloaded. And so here we are. The total that he had for the entire campaign was just over 50, about maybe 60, I guess, because it goes to 75. That was all last year. So this time he like tripled, but I'm going to show you something on the number of people that clicked on it in a second. I just want to point out that throughout the year, like you said, he's had not a lot of downloads. He has had people reading the book constantly with their Kindle Unlimited, which I just signed up for that about 6 months ago, because I have so many books on my Kindle that I bought either when they were, or downloaded when they were free, bought them when they were 99 cents, or a book that I wanted to have, period. I've just got hundreds. So I'm like, why do I want to keep doing that? Once I read them, I'm done. So why don't I just do the Kindle Unlimited? And so that's what I started doing about 6 months ago. And it's working really, really well. So that's what that has been done throughout the whole year here. Now I want to show you, this is the Google. So every year, part of the campaign is that we set up Google link, a Google URL, so that we can track the number of people that go there. Thank you, Aimee. She's the first one that showed me this. I think it was you, Aimee. I don't remember. Anyway, this year, he had a total of 702 clicks. So there's that. Now, this is the breakdown on it over here. The thing that I think is fascinating, and I knew you would think it was fascinating too, Russell, because you're a numbers person too, but this blue section here is all from m.facebook.com. And you know what m.facebook.com is?
What?
Mobile. Wow. I looked it up. I'm like, okay, I'm going to have, what is m.facebook? Because Facebook is over here. So mobile Facebook is 76%.
So people were out and about when they did this, right, when they were just checking on it.
They did it from their phone. However, now you'll see all these other little tiny things up here. Facebook itself, facebook.com, is 1.1%. Unknown is 14. Unknown is more than Facebook. But that's all. So you can see over here the mobile browser, and then of course the number one was an iPhone. And so these are the other browsers. This is all the information, and you can actually see what countries it came from, which is also very interesting, because now I'm going to show you last year. Oops.
That was good. That's okay.
Okay, I'm going to, it is getting a little bit, almost 10:30. So I'm not going to show last year's, but I want to tell you that last year, mobile was 0.4%. Wow. Mobile Facebook. It went from 0.4% to 76%.
So I guess the two of you did your job.
It was all over the world also. And what we got, and he had 20,000 links last year. So one of the things when I talked to Brian, and we're like, okay, what do we learn from these results? And the biggest thing we learned is when you hit your target market, that's where the results happen. Because even though he had 20,000 clicks on the Google link last year from all over the world, Czechoslovakia, everywhere, only 50 people downloaded the book.
Okay, but he went to what? So where was his rating on the bestsellers list during?
He made it to number 1, but barely. I mean, it was like the end of the second day.
Number 1 is number 1. It doesn't
no. That's true. He did go to number 1. Okay. Yes, yay, he did. He didn't have as many downloads. And this year, because he had the 300 downloads, he was in number 1 like by 8 o'clock in the morning.
Wow.
And he stayed there in 3 different categories. He stayed there both days, all day, and even for a couple of days afterwards. And we did some checking. So if we went to the category where his book was found, so let's say it was sales and selling, and if you backed it up to a higher category, he would still be in the top 5. And you backed up to another category level higher, he would be in the top 10. And if you went all the way back up to the level it said it said Amazon eBooks, he was still in the top 10.
Wow.
Okay, so
exciting.
That's just amazing. And and I frankly am the one that suggested we talk about this today, because it's so amazing that a not new book can have such a great effect with a promotional campaign like this. And I wanted you guys to talk a little bit about what you did, because I think it's exciting to everybody who has a book that either is old, it's not brand new, which is old, it's not the opposite, or they didn't do an introduction correctly and they would like to do it again. That gives them hope.
Well, and so another thing is, like in your case, you're working on book 2 and 3 now, so you're not doing a lot of promotion with Marilyn right now. Something like that would help to give you that boost that you need. So I suggest to you and anyone, if you've got another book coming out, and Sue, I know you're watching, so I just saw your name. This is one of the
Sue.
Sue's got
Get on Instagram, Sue.
She's only made a comment about you, Russell.
She said I'm awesome, right?
Of course.
She did. She goes, Russell is exactly right. So.
Oh, dang.
I know. I wouldn't say it if it wasn't right.
So for Sue, who's got a book coming out like in the next few days, and then she'll have another one coming out in January, and then another one a few months after that, and then another one. She's got 5 books altogether. What we want to do with her, and we don't want to do with you, is before your next book comes out, we want to give Marilyn a big push out there, so Marilyn can be the leverage to have people then buy book 2.
Well, it puts that book in your forefront of your mind, where if you read this book, they're coming out with another one, and they really enjoyed it, then they're going to be waiting on eggshells or whatever to get your next book. They're going to be chomping at the bit, I guess is a better way of saying it.
Bingo. That's great, Aimee. Good. So we want you to be top of mind for anyone that's interested in your genre of book. And Sue's, by the way, is Cozy Mystery, so that's her hashtag. It's Cozy Mystery. Right. Put that plug in there. You're going to be seeing stuff this week about our cover reveal party we're having Thursday night. And we've never done a cover reveal party before, but our cover designer did a really nice rendition for me to do that. And so when I saw some of the work he had done, I saw he had done cover reveals before. So we're doing that. What do you got going on this week, Russell? Aimee, anything going on exciting with Christmas coming?
Aimee, you have a wedding coming on.
I do. My sister's getting married on the 15th, so I'll be going home on the 14th for that. And then after Christmas, I'll be at Enchanted Rock.
Okay, now, are you tent camping like I am trying to learn to do?
Yes.
Who starts the fire for you?
My husband does.
Okay, can he actually start a fire?
Yes, he can.
So he's a better man than me. I'm going to cheat. I figured out I'm going to get fire starters from Target, and that you open up little packages and you throw in the fire and it keeps the fire burning. Then you don't have to.
Then what is Okay, does Josh use rubbing two sticks together?
No.
Oh, good.
No.
I'm like,
he starts the fire and then maintains it. That's like his favorite. That and then cooking with his Dutch oven is his most favorite thing. Well, I'm over here I'll go camping because he enjoys it, but as long as I'm by a hot shower, I'm okay. And that's fine. If I'm not by that and I gotta go like 2 or 3 days without showering, it's not fun.
Well, about the same time, we're going to Death Valley.
Oh, wow.
For 5 days of camping, and I'm hoping to have an occasional shower. So,
yeah,
nice.
I don't know yet.
So your plans, you and Melinda are going to do tent camping in all national parks, right? Is that
the next year.
And then I know you're not going to
right. And New Year's Eve, we're doing Joshua Tree National Park 2 nights, and then Death Valley 3 or 4 nights.
Oh, nice. Okay. So then you'll make your way to Enchanted Rock at some point.
What?
You'll make your way at Enchanted Rock at some point.
Oh, yeah.
Right? It's really pretty. I've been there several times.
Where is that, Aimee?
It's up by, it's like a little bit past Fredericksburg. It's really pretty.
So you could do that and like wine visitations at the same time, right?
Right. And
it could be pretty awesome.
It's really nice because it's supposed to be like Big Ben, and my husband's all like about seeing, galaxies at night and stuff. And so at Big Ben's like the best place that you can see. It's like a 10, and then Enchanted Rock's like a 9.5, where you can see all the stars and the galaxies and stuff. So
now, when we were at Goliad State Park last week, the difference in seeing the stars between 10 o'clock, though it was dark, and 3:30 in the morning when all the surrounding town's lights were at a minimum, was unbelievable. So you need to get up at 3 a.m.
Well, he wants to climb the rock at night and go sit up there and see them.
That's a bad decision.
Yeah. It's a bad decision. That's why he'll be doing it alone, not with me. So he's on his own for that one.
Anyway, that's what we're doing, Sandy.
Yay! So any last word for anyone? Aimee, you and I are doing a webinar on the 11th of December, Monday evening, and we're going to be starting the promotions on that today. And so Aimee, you and I can have a conversation later about getting the word out on that and the topic and all that. This is going to be a no pitch, no sales webinar. We have nothing for sale, nothing to give you where you will get your email address, nothing. All we want you to do is sign up and come let us tell you about it. And then I've got some exciting stuff planned for next year already, and I can't wait to share those, but we'll do those at a different one. We have guests coming on the next one. Hopefully we'll have either Andrea Barbosa or James Price is his name. And anything else going on, Aimee, that we want to share?
No,
Russell, remember we're going to talk about the library on one of the upcoming author talks and what we're going to do next year with the Houston Public Library.
Right? Yeah, because they had so much destruction during Harvey. And I really think that we ought to start talking within the writers community about how we can support the library, because the library is not, if you haven't been to a library, the libraries are not what they were when we were younger. They're vibrant, exciting places that are usually full of people looking for jobs, doing their homework online with all the computers. It's a pretty exciting place, and they need help.
And especially, I love the Houston Public Library downtown. I've been there for several events, and it is amazing. So if you are in Houston and you've not visited the library, you should. If you're somewhere else, then go visit your library. And for authors, consider having your book or a book launch or a book party or something in a library. I mean, it just goes together. Books, libraries, authors. So we got lots more stuff to share with you over the coming months. And so we will see you again this time next week here on Author Talk. Thank you.